17 hours. Can you do it?
I don't have any choice.
Well,
it's too expensive to stay here in Zurich.
I was to say, okay, we really like Zurich. We would like to spend some more time here.
We don't have any more points.
We can't afford to stay here.
Subscribe to our channel for more Zeke and Terri adventures. After 7 weeks in France and Spain, we were ending our trip absolutely exhausted in Zurich, Switzerland. Why Zurich? My friend Werner, who I met through a friend during the pandemic over 5 years ago, now lives in Zurich, and we finally had an opportunity to meet in person. Werner and his wife Marta and their 8-year-old Frantzi were kind enough to spend a beautiful Sunday afternoon in May showing us around not just to the tourist spots, but some of their favorite local spots as well.
Because we were with an 8-year-old, we all tried to keep him entertained, which meant a trip up the hill in the funicular and a visit to the Natural History Museum of the University of Zurich. We also used the excuse of the 8-year-old to get on a boat on the Limmat River that connects to Lake Zurich, which we took to their swim club near their house. Lake Zurich is stunning, especially with the surrounding mountains, some still covered in snow.
Since we were with friends and we were exhausted, we didn't take as much video as we typically do. And while our friends were fine with being on camera, we decided to not only respect their privacy, but simply enjoy the day. The last day of our trip.
Sad, not sad?
Sad, not sad. It's been a fantastic almost 7 weeks, but we are tired. We're ready to be back in California. My cup is filled, though, after our time with Werner and Marta and Frantzi yesterday here in Zurich. Sadly, all of the art museums in Zurich are closed today because it's Monday. Are you sad about that?
Sad, not sad.
Sad, definitely not sad. I love meeting up with our friends around the world. Absolutely love meeting up with people and having insanely interesting and educational conversations, especially with people from very different backgrounds. For example, last night, Werner is from South Africa, and it was just interesting. Initially, Werner didn't want to talk about politics, but we kind of had to because of what's going on in the world right now.
And for someone who grew up under apartheid and was into the military during apartheid, and the first opportunity he had to vote, he voted about getting out of apartheid. His story is one that I've never met anyone that's had that story to tell. I was honored that he shared his story with us.
It makes us better informed. Even though we may be the idiots abroad, we do actively seek to become less of the idiots abroad. The lake here is just spectacular. We can see why people like living here. The neighborhood that Werner and Marta and Frantzi live in, it's so cute. Their apartment is super cute. Over the summer, they belong to a lake club. Yesterday, the shores were just lined with people enjoying the beautiful sunshine. Just feeling very loved, and as Werner said, Zurich is being very kind to us. I still love you 7 weeks later.
I love you too.
Yesterday, this area was packed. This building that's right behind me here is some sort of a swim club, and they have swim platforms out here. So there's people, it's like they do their laps in this lake. My motivation to swim laps in a lake like this would be about 1,000 times more than it is to go to the club at the top. We just toured the Fraumunster Church, and
Which means women minister.
Cool. And here's the interesting thing. If you want any little insight into my brain in these places, this is what I took away. There was an audio tour. Is that the organ that's in there now was installed in 1953, and the shortest pipe that they have is like 10 centimeters, and the longest pipe they have is 10 meters. That's like 30 some feet. And this is the third largest organ in Switzerland.
Marc Chagall has some stained glass windows in here that are absolutely gorgeous. So I'm looking at the outside of this. You know, you said it's like 1,000 years old. It was an abbey, and then, during the Reformation, it was ultimately, the nuns, etc., were kicked out, and it was taken over by Zurich Council. And, it's still a beautiful building from the outside. The inside is a lot more austere. It was talking about how the pulpit was the important part, unlike the daises that we've seen in the Catholic churches.
The thing that we see here, I don't think is 1,000 years old. I think there was a smaller version, and then somewhere along the line they expanded it. They did a reno.
Well, no. Yeah, it was like a 30-day reno project.
ABC came through and did
we went down and we looked at the crypt and we saw some of the old foundation type stuff.
Right.
Ooh, there's a fountain. I don't think that's one we can drink out of.
So we'll find one we can drink out of today. That was
a fun experience. Yeah. So yeah, let's go ahead and keep meandering, but I think a cold adult beverage is in my future.
All right.
Maybe another cup of coffee for you?
Always room for another cup of coffee.
Hurting, and there are a ton of freaking people here in Old Town. So we are at the train station, which has fewer people in it than it had on Saturday night when we arrived.
The important thing, though, is it has
a Niki Senpai. Niki Senpai is an artist that I've now been following in I don't know how many countries. We saw an exhibition or an installation of her art outside the Modern Art Museum in Stockholm. I think I first saw her stuff in Washington, D.C. At some of the museums. I'm a fan. But we are now sitting at a little French cafe watching everybody go by in Zurich. Zeke needed some sustenance in the form of vegetables. I needed sustenance in the form of a grape derivative. Thank you for humoring me and getting out of the crowds. I couldn't deal today.
I get it. This is what's known as Shopville, and it's under the train station. Grocery stores, clothing stores, all kinds of stuff down here.
That was a lot of fun.
Quick little paddle out on Lake Zurich. Very beautiful.
Pretty easy to navigate. Much easier to pilot than the canal boat.
We got a nice view of the mountains at the end with the snow on them. That was beautiful.
Just absolutely beautiful.
Yeah.
Speaking of faraway places, if you would like to get our virtual postcards from the road as well as physical ones, please go to our website at zekeandterri.com and sign up. We may be... 17 hours. Can you do it?
I don't have any choice.
Well,
it's too expensive to stay here in Zurich.
I was to say, okay, we really like Zurich. We would like to spend some more time here.
We don't have any more points.
We can't afford to stay here. So even the idea of coming back here and spending a lot more time, I guess if we could do a home exchange, but we wouldn't be able to afford to eat. Okay, it's our last day in Europe. It's just about 7 weeks. We're going to go ahead and round it up to 7 weeks. And we are continuing to talk about what this looks like moving forward so that we don't completely lose our shit.
It's only been like a year and a half.
Well, it's a journey. We learn something new every single time.
Glad you were able to join us on this, and we'll see what comes up next.
Thanks a lot for following along. We hope you've enjoyed the entire journey. And